Now I'm going to walk you through the digital sales and service analytics solution for Next Best Action, specifically for retail. This is a comprehensive review of the solution, and during so we'll take the role of these different personas that you see on the screen, and I think through this process we'll go through 7 out of the 8. I think we'll skip the administrator, but we'll take on these different personas, and I'll try to show you the persona in the lower left or right hand corner that's relevant to the action that's going on the screen, so you have a basis into whose activity is going on at a given moment. And this could be a customer, this could be the marketing manager, a data scientist, and so forth. People that interact with this solution at different points in time. In this first section, we'll take the role of an anonymous web visitor visiting Ultiva Motors Accessories website. Ultiva Motors Accessories sells motorcycle accessories, typically a secondary market for their motorcycle manufacturing. And I'm actually browsing the products, looking at seats and fuel lids and different accessories to make my bike look more interesting. And I can see right out of the gate, as soon as I select a product, that I'm actually presented other products or similar products that other riders with similar interests have viewed. And this is an example of a pretty straightforward recommendation engine running in the background in using Microsoft's cognitive services. And we're doing that to enhance even an anonymous user's experience, someone that we haven't really been able to personalize too much because we don't have a lot of data about them. But we can do recommendations based on the products that they're selecting, based on our past history and other people's interest. We can also use some geolocation services to figure out where they're browsing from and begin to personalize based on that as well. One of the more interesting modern applications is to use the bot framework to deliver next best action. So in this case, our anonymous user recently saw a commercial, and he's wondering what products were shown in that commercial. So he's asking the bot to get some help on products that he saw in that commercial. So you'll see our anonymous visitor can type in a question, and cognitive services is being leveraged by the bot framework as well as our next best action API. And cognitive services is using language understanding intelligence service to interrogate this question about the commercial and responds in kind that is glad the customer liked the commercial, and here's a list of products for the customer that were in the commercial, and they can actually click them and browse and see if that's something that they're interested in. Real quick recap. We've seen the use of 2 outbound channels, the Ultiva Motors website and the bot framework, specifically serving up recommended products and specific products based on a commercial to an anonymous visitor to the website. Now let's take that next step and see how those channels interact with a known user. Now let's consider a known customer, Leo, who bought his motorcycle from Ultiva Motors about a year ago, and now he's shopping for accessories. So he's logging in using his credentials to see if there's any specific offers that might be available to him as a loyal Ultiva Motors customer. Once he logs in, he can see that there's actually 5 products specifically targeted, in this case, new motorcycle seats. And as he browses the website, he can see that there's specific discounts. Even when he goes to look at the catalog, he can see which products have a specific discount targeted towards Leo. In this case, it looks like motorcycle seats, which may be something you need to buy after a certain period of time on your motorcycle. Or maybe it's just a design consideration. But again, this is personalized towards Leo. So let's check that out by looking at another customer. So we'll log out and switch personas to Edward. Edward also bought a motorcycle, but hasn't had it nearly as long. So he's logging in using his credentials to see what specific offers are available for him. So when he logs in, he sees a different set of products. In this case, he sees 4 products, specifically fuel lids for his motorcycle. And again, if he browses the catalog, he can see specifically what the discount is. And his discount is significantly more than Leo's. It was 40%, where Leo's was 25%. So there we can see the difference between two personalized offers. Now we're back on the site as Leo. Leo's not logged in at the moment, but he's now interacting with the chatbot. And he's looking for that same set of offers, but this time he's just asking the chatbot. And he's following the prompts to see if the chatbot's asking see if he's shopped before, and asking if there's a way that Leo can identify himself so they can look up his account. So we're using phone number. So Leo's typing in his phone number so that the chatbot can use that as a credential to look up Leo's specific offers. We'll see as it goes to validate, it'll either come back with an offer or come back that was invalid. So in this case, Leo just typed his phone number wrong, and the system's smart enough to recognize that this is not a valid customer and there's no targeted offer specifically for this particular phone number. So he's fixing his phone number, and now the chatbot's going to do some validation, look into the Next Best Action API, and pull back a specific offer for Leo. So there it's found an offer, and there's a link to take Leo to that specific product so we can see which product has the offer. In this case, it's the classic seat. The last customer scenario we'll cover is the use of CRM in interactions with a customer from the Ultiva Motors website. In this scenario, Leo has a question, and rather than ask the bot, he's going to click on the live chat link in the right-hand side of the Ultiva Motors website. This will enable that connection to a live agent who's online in the call center. And immediately we'll show the call center agent, Sam, actually respond to the request and begin a dialogue with Leo. And the goal here is to show not only are we using data that's collected in CRM, such as activity from prior calls or emails or marketing information, but we're also delivering the next best offer and action to the CRM agent or customer sales rep in this case, so that they can leverage and better serve the customers in a live scenario. So this dialogue is going to begin between Leo and Sam, the CSR, around a question about a product. So Leo's curious if a specific product comes in a specific color, and Sam's going to leverage the integration between the CRM system and the Next Best Action API to make sure he understands exactly the products that are offered to Leo, so he can answer this question the best way. So we'll go through this dialogue. I'm not gonna. You guys can watch as I go back and forth in the conversation. But once Leo kind of identifies himself and gives Sam the ability to look him up specifically in the CRM system, he'll be presented with the same set of products that Leo sees on the website. Those same 5 mountain motorcycle seats that you see in the rear window here will show to Leo and allow him to understand exactly what Leo is looking at, as well as he'll see some demographic information and some activity information around Leo's profile about how many times he's been to the website, how many emails he's been sent, how many calls he's logged in the call center, and so forth. All data that we ingest and use to feed those machine learning models to develop that next best action and offer. So as we go through the dialogue, we'll see that Sam can look up Leo's account and look at this type of data and serve Leo in the most efficient manner he can. So here we can see Sam grab Leo's name from the chat, look him up in CRM, get a quick look at his profile that shows pages visited, banners shown, and the 5 products that Sam has access to based on the next best offer. And he sees that the specific seat he asked about only comes in white. Now we'll focus in on Sam's screen specifically. And he can reply to Leo, seeing what information he has about the product, and potentially make other recommendations. So you'll see that once he answers the question, he'll go back to the list of products and look for some alternate option that comes in blue. Now we're just showing a list of products, but this could persist in a product chart, maybe a Power BI tile or dashboard around products that show all the products that come in blue, for example. So the level of integration can be extended to include more analytics. This case, we're actually just showing the list of products that were offered based on the algorithms in the sales and service analytics solution. So we just spent about 10 minutes going through a few different scenarios on how next best offer and next best action present themselves in a website, in a chatbot, in a CRM system. Now let's take a deeper dive into the solution and look at the control panel of sales and service analytics from the view of a few different personas. This is the internal work that happens to drive the solution forward for customers. So we'll look at the data engineer, the data scientist, and the marketing manager persona and how they interact with the control panel to deliver those results. Now we're going to go into the sales and service analytics control panel. And we're logged in as Carlos, the data engineer, and Carlos is really focused in on setting up the unified analytic model. The analytic model is the set of entities that holds all of the data that we bring into the solution, both structured, unstructured, internal, external, and it's really configured with thousands of attributes. In the case of retail, we're using the NRF data model as our basis, but we can see that there's a number of entities like customer and geography and product, and you can see the list goes on. And each of those entities has a series of members, and these are fields that represent either key dimensions, like a customer code or a customer name, measures like purchases year to date, or scores, which would be like the result of a machine learning model, like customer churn score or a segmentation score. These 3 types of entity members are leveraged downstream by the data scientists and the marketing manager to, one, generate machine learning results, and also to generate target lists and actions for the purpose of serving up what we saw on the Ultiva Motors website, what we saw in the chatbot, and what we saw in CRM in our earlier examples. Okay. Now let's transition to the role of the data scientist. So Claire, our data scientist, is focused in on the navigation pane where it says predictive models or prediction models. This is the area where we can define predictive models or machine learning models. They can be predefined, something that you're bringing to the solution, or you can use ones that are from the solution. But these are callouts to the Azure Machine Learning service in Microsoft Azure, the Cortana Intelligence Suite. And in this definition, you define what unified analytic model entities are the inputs to that model as well as the outputs. And remember, we have entity types that are of type ML score, which means the result of a machine learning model that gets stored in the UAM, and that gets leveraged downstream by our marketing manager for the definition of target lists and the definition of specific actions to deliver to the next best action API to be leveraged by other channels. So here we're showing the example of kind of digging into the customer entity, and there the call out of some ML scores like the segmentation score and the churn score. These are the outputs of those machine learning models that now exist in the UAM to be leveraged downstream. We can see also the associated products model. So this we saw that early on in our demonstration when we were the anonymous visitor and we were looking at those recommended products or associated products that we recommended, even though we weren't targeting or delivering really a personalized message for that particular customer. The last thing we'll cover in the control panel, we'll transition over to Maya, our marketing manager. This is the critical business role here. So Maya is going to log into the control panel really to show you how the look changes for the marketing manager. This is business focus. So Maya needs really access to important things like the target lists, the definition of actions. Those are the two primary things. She can also see the UAM, so she can browse and see what attributes are available to her to define a target list. But most of her time will be spent focused in on the definition of a target list and a set of actions that she wants to deliver to the different channels like the website and the bot framework. So here we're looking at the target list for young restless people. So it's defined with two entities, the customer credit score and the churn score. So those two attributes are being leveraged with specific criteria to define a list of customers. And this is actually the list of customers that Leo, our initial known customer, falls into. And this is what's helping drive the offers that we're showing on Altiva Motors' website and in the bot for Leo specifically. So this is that first target list. And you'll see as we kind of drill into different areas that we can define other target lists as well. So here we're looking at actions. So this is what we want to happen after we've defined a target list. And actions are a combination of channels and an activity. Channels being representing the consumption or outbound use of a Next Best Action API. So the Altiva Motors website, the bot framework, an SMS platform, the CRM system, for example. Together are joined with the action settings that we're going to see here, and we'll look at this discount for young professionals. So this is where Maya is defining the actions that are going to be executed for a given set of rules. So the one rule that's tied to this particular action is a target list. So we can see that the rule is you must be a member of a specific target list, in this case, the young restless people. And we've defined two action attributes. One is a tag or a description, and the other is the actual number or amount of a discount. So in this case, we said, hey, I want you to deliver a 25% discount to this target list. And a separate action is defined to define how many products are going to be displayed with that particular discount. So it's these actions that are really driving the behaviors that appear in the outbound channels like the website. So Maya is complete control using an intuitive interface to define who the target customers are and what the actions that should be followed are for the Next Best Action API. So here I'm just showing some additional actions for different target lists that Maya set up for Altiva Motors. Now, the last thing, just to finally wrap up in terms of demonstration here, is to go back to our original use case where we had a known customer who logged into the website to look for specific offers. So here's Leo. He's going back in to log into the website. And now we can see what we just saw Maya set up in terms of actions. Here are the 5 products that are part of that one action. And if we actually drill into the catalog, we'll see the discount, a 25% discount on that specific product. Or if we look at the actual catalog page itself, we'll see all 5 products that are tied to that initial action to show 5 products with a 25% discount. And that kind of wraps up what I wanted to show you around the solution.